Hello and welcome to this short knitting tutorial. Today I will be showing you how to knit colorwork with the stranded method, also known as Fair Isle. In this method we will be holding two or more colors of yarn and alternate between them while holding the other strands in the back of the work, as you can see on this swatch. To begin, I'm going to attach the new color yarn by holding it in the back along with the old color and knitting one stitch of the original color while holding that yarn there. That will basically hold that yarn with the stitch in the back of the work so that it's attached and it's easier to knit as you start. So the way that stranded color works is that you are holding the yarn in the back. Either if you're knitting with this white one or the gray one, you're always keeping the other color in the back of your work. So what I like to do to make it easier is to hold one color in my right hand and one color in my left hand. So the left hand will be knitting continental and the right hand will be knitting English style. If you don't know how to do these different methods, then you can only hold in one hand, and I'll show that in a bit. But another thing to keep in mind is that because you're holding the strands in the back of the work, if the strands get too long, the work starts to get pulled or it starts to have really long strands. So to avoid that, as you can see there, I did a little twist of my yarn every few stitches, like 3 or 4 stitches, so that strand of color work is not super long. And when I switch to my other color, I just keep going and holding that yarn in the back. Here you can see how, because I only held those strands for a few colors, the strands are not too long and are being held close to the work, and that's what we want. When purling on the wrong side of the work, you do the same thing. Instead of holding the strands to the back of your work, you're holding them still to the back of the work, but to the front of you. And in this case, I am knitting only with one hand and not with two, so I can show you how it works there. I'm letting my other color kind of sit there, and then when I get to a point where I think the strand's gonna be too long, I make sure to create a little twist, hold that strand there, and keep knitting. So that's gonna prevent your strands from getting too long, and you just gotta make sure not to pull too tight on them so that the color in the front doesn't get pulled. But that's about it. You're just holding your yarn as you go in one of the colors or the other, and creating those strands that are being held together by your stitches. And that's how you knit stranded or fair out color work.